guys, today I wanted to share with you how I make my little jackets for my newborn goats. Now this one is going to be for a newborn Nigerian dwarf goat. You can do your own kind of measurements with your own if you'd like. I measure mine from up close to the neck down to where the tail would be sticking out. So you would measure that. For this one, it's approximately 12 inches long. Now for the neck area, this will be the neck area. If you'll measure across through there, you'll get 8 inches because you want to allow at least a half an inch. So it would actually be 7.5 of the diameter around its neck. Now as you see here, I ovaled this out. I started the oval right here at about 6 to 6.5 inches is where I started my oval. This is my neck. I started my oval right here. The reason being, this right here will not be sewn. This will come across its tail because a goat, especially a boy goat, they need room to pee, in other words. So that's how that'll go. Now, I'm going to do it wrong sides together, or right sides together, I'm sorry. And I will be sewing from here to where I started my oval, right in here. And that's as far as I'll be sewing, just straight through right there. Straight right through here, right where my thing is at. Use about a half an inch is what I'm going to use. So that's what I'm going to be sewing. Let me sew that up. Guess whose tail this is? If you don't know, the star of the show. He has been the star of the show lately. Okay, so there I got that sewn, guys. I sewed from there to there. That's all there was to that. Now I'll turn it right side out. There's where we sewn, right here. Now this part is where you got to make your little arms. How I do this is I lay it this way. And I kind of measure. I know that from the neck down to here is about 3.5 inches. So I can mark 3.5 inches is right there in the center. I know that much. Now this is going to be its little chest. So you got to figure out where you want your holes at for the chest. If that's the center, generally on a tiny newborn, I'm going to tell you 4 inches. My little goat now, I'm going to make him a little bit bigger one now. So I'm going to make his a little wider than that. I want to take his about, get your booty out of the way, about 4.5 inches on each side. So I'm going to mark basically where my folds are is what it is for me. Now, remember right in the center, that's your neckline right here. You will take out right here and cut out little half moons. These things ain't fancy, guys. Ain't nothing fancy about my little things here. But I can throw them in the wash machine. This type of material does not unravel. So, you know, it don't matter about that. Cut out your little armholes. I'm going to cut this one just a tad bigger. And that will be their little armholes in their chest. So, there you go. You got your little jacket. Easy peasy. This one's got a little thing on the top. That was where the string was, I think, in the hoodie. But I ain't going for prettiness. But there it is. Your little jacket. Guys, if you get these out there and I would suggest taking a pair of scissors with you when you go out to put these on your babies, because sometimes your holes may feel like they're too narrow around their shoulder blades or whatever. You can just cut them out a little bit more. This material is very good about stretching and giving for you too, though, so be careful about not cutting your hole too big. See how much I stretched that just with my hands? So they stretch out pretty good. But this type of material is amazing for this job. So that's for a newborn, guys, the size I told you. And you can, you know, make them a little bigger as they get bigger. There you go. I hope you like that, and good luck with all your new babies. to enjoy that last one I did with just the glimpses of pictures on there. I'll probably do that again because I think that was fun for people to guess and stuff. And so I'll probably do that again. But I have to be careful with a lot of those when it comes to pictures and stuff because there's copyright issues that you have to be careful with YouTube. And so, you know, sometimes I might not really get to put pictures on there, but, you know, I think you understand what I mean by that. But anyway, I want to show you this. I actually got two of these. One's got butterflies and stuff on it, but I found this at a yard sale, estate sale, or something other. And this is those calendars. This is a 1975 one, and it says, "God Our Humble Home" on the bottom of it. And I think it's really cool, and it's made out of that linen type material that I love. I've got a textile issue. I love feeling different types of textile, and linen's actually my favorite textile there is, and muslin. I love muslin material too, but linen is probably my teaking, which usually some type of teaking is a lot of times some type of linen or cotton, and I love cotton. But I wanted to bring that out and show it to you. These are very useful. I wish they'd still do this because these are very useful. You can throw them over bread when you're letting bread rise. You can wrap bread up in it for a little while if you need to, or just different things. I love them. I love them, love them. And I wanted to bring that out as I remember when today. That way we got a visual too. Another thing I wanted to mention, I've got several, but however long my time takes, I'll try to be careful with my time. My grandmother, we lived with one of my grandmothers for almost a year. Me and my sister did. And they had an old home that they had built, and the wood stove was in the living room and all that kind of good stuff. And for years they didn't have a bathroom. They had an outhouse. Well, they finally added on a bathroom on the other end of the house, the furthest away from where the wood stove was at. So that bathroom was like an ice cube. I'm not even sure they even put insulation in that sucker because it was cold in there. And she did have a porcelain type tub in there. So when that porcelain got cold, it stayed cold forever. And I remember Mama would go and put a big aluminum pan on the wood stove and heat up water and come and dump it in that bathtub. And where that bathtub was so cold, it would turn lukewarm in no time. So you had to get in there and get your bath done quick. And we only put about that much water in there. And usually me and my sister, or maybe a couple other people, I don't even remember, would take a bath in that same tub. So you got in there and got done and got out of there. So I remember that, and it made me think about something. You know that phrase that, I like to look up phrases too. That phrase that "don't throw the baby out with the bathwater." Well, I looked that up and find out why they even came up with that. So what they did is years ago they would fill up, and some of you may know this already, fill up a bathtub, and the dad would take his bath, and then the mother, and then they would go, you know, by stair steps according to the children. So the baby would be the last one to take a bath. So by the time the baby got in the bath water was filthy. And so they'd say, be sure you don't throw the baby out with bath water because you couldn't see the baby for the dirt. So I thought that was kind of cool. I wanted to throw that in there. But what I wanted to tell you about concerning the bathroom is my grandma, bless her heart, and I can imagine seeing her sitting and doing this. She would take an old towel. I think it was a towel. Seems like it was a blanket though, an old thin blanket. I can't remember exactly what it was she used, but she would cut a strip, or she'd cut an oval shape, the shape of the toilet seat, and she wrapped that around that toilet seat, and she sewed it onto the toilet seat so that when we sat on the toilet seat, it wouldn't be so cold. And I remember that so well. I was so excited when she put that on that toilet seat, so it got so cold when you sat down on it. So that tells you how cold that bathroom was. It was cold. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for our Remember Wins. I'm sure that stirs up some good things for you guys to make you think about whenever you were younger. And I'm really enjoying the joy that's coming out of this and the different remarks that everybody's giving us. So we'll leave it at that today. I love you guys. I thank you guys. And I will see you later, Mater.